And welcome back to the show. And joining us now we have Kathy Foley, who is the director at Pelican Park, which is, I believe, the largest recreation district in the state. Am I right on that, or am I close? Or?
You're close. It's the
That's
largest.
how I've touted it. So
Good. It's the largest in St. Tammany Parish.
Okay.
There's actually 16 in the parish. About 8 of them are active, and we're the largest one. But we've got one of the largest facilities in the southeast.
For those who aren't used to the Mandeville area, which is, Mandeville, Lacombe, kind of that area, tell us, where exactly is the park? Most people have been there, even if they're not from Mandeville, but for those who don't know where
it's on the east side of Mandeville, right across from Fontainebleau State Park, right next to what used to be the old Southeast Hospital.
And we were laughing off camera because I make fun of myself. I have to have questions for the wildlife guys. I don't need questions for Pelican Park. I'm literally there every night. But there's so much you can talk about with the park. And I think maybe let's start with some of those things that you don't get at other parks. We'll come back to the things you do. But we'll start with Dog Park and talk about the dog park and the uniqueness of that.
We were the first ones to have a dog park in St. Tammany Parish. It's a 4-acre called the Bark Park. And actually, we really have hundreds of people on a Saturday come out. And it's really reached a demographic that we aren't reaching with our youth sports. People whose kids have grown up through the park, you in 15 years, and then they've coming out with their dogs and enjoying socializing and exercising their animals as well as themselves.
In that area, and a lot of what we'll talk about first is in that area. You've got, I call it frisbee golf, but it's really disc golf. You can call it a number of things. You've got an 18-hole course out there. Talk about, and there's plans to improve that, I believe, right?
There is. We have an 18-hole course, and we can change it to 2 different ways, so you're not playing the same course every time you play. But it's wonderful for families. It's wonderful for singles. All ages can play disc golf. We actually have disc available in our office or from our evening staff that you can get for free to come out and try the sport, because we want people to try disc golf. It's fun, it's low impact, it's a good time out there.
Is that a growing sport? And I guess where I'm getting at is how did you determine to include that in the plans?
It is a growing sport. There's a very dedicated group of players in this community, and they play all in the New Orleans region. And part of our strategic planning that we're working on right now, the board is, it will be a larger disc golf course and with more diversity to it.
In the same area, there's a skate park. Talk about it.
That's right. The skate park was built for beginners and intermediates. It doesn't meet the advanced skaters' needs, so it was done for a purpose because we wanted the kids to learn. In our strategic plan, we also have a larger skate park, and that park will have a beginners and intermediate and advanced area. But it's open to both skateboards and bikes on certain nights, and it's amazing to watch the kids out there, both grown kids and young kids, because there's a lot of 20-year-olds that are skating out there now.
What's amazing to me is if we talk weekends and leisure time, but that I'm out there a lot on weeknights, and we'll talk about the walking, running path in a minute, but you're on that path, and there's people at the skate park, dog park, and batting cages and everything else every night, it seems like.
Well, we have 1 million visitations to Pelican Park a year. So on a normal Saturday, you're one of about 10 to 15,000 people coming in. So it doesn't depend, there's all sorts of definitions for recreation. And for some people, it's youth sports or adult sports. Other people, it's skateboarding and disc golf or the dog park.
How is attendance tracked? How do you know there's 1 million? I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I know this, but how do you know?
We tracked the cars. We did a traffic count and figured out with a camera how many people were in each car and did that. And so we had a company come in and do a traffic count for us.
That's a lot of work.
About 3 years ago.
Yeah, so it may even have grown because it seems like things are getting added all the time at the tournaments. I mean, again, this is not just for Mandeville people. There was a big soccer tournament a couple of weeks ago where people from Homa and out of state come in. So this is a facility of people that haven't seen it, that people from all over the South come in to play.
Well, for people that aren't familiar with Pelican Park, it's 230 acres that's developed. We have just purchased another 100 acres next to us. But of that 230, we got 33 athletic fields. 31 of them are lighted. They have hybrid Bermuda grass. They have irrigation. So we have 7 courts of gym space. We have a 16,000 square foot Castine, or it's 46,000 square foot Castine Center. It can hold 1,600 people for a sit-down dinner. Then, as we talked about, it has the dog park, the skate park, the disc golf, and the walking trail.
The Castine Center, as you mentioned, that's available for rent.
It is available for rent.
What kind of events do you see there?
Well, any type, all sorts of fundraisers, community events, but also meets the community good. It's available to any governmental agency without cost to hold a public service type of event, but it is mostly rented for Mardi Gras balls. It's rented for fundraisers, like we have a Unite that's coming in the next week or so. That will be a huge event for 1,000 to 1,500 people.
Going back to some of the outdoor stuff, I mentioned the walking path. Talk about that, and believe it or not, I have used it. You may not be able to tell, but that's how I know there's people there at night. It's not only is it a few miles long, but it connects to the trace.
That is correct. It's 2 miles within the park, so you can walk from one end to the other and back. That's a 4-mile walk. But we do have a spur that connects to the Tammany Trace. So if you're out biking, you can bike into the park and through the park and around. It's actually great for parents who are kids who are practicing, if they're not coaching, who can exercise while their kids are exercising. It's also good for just visitors. We have people come in all the time just to ride the park and the trace.
You've mentioned the future. What can you divulge about that? What's in the works for Pelican Park down the road?
We're basically the board. I work for a 7-member administrative board, and they're charged with meeting the needs for this recreation district. So we're always looking to the future. We purchased 100 acres next to us from the parish, and we're hoping to just keep that for generations to come and figure out what the need is. But we're in the strategic planning process right now, which is going to take another year. But we're looking at anything. Right now, the community is telling us they're looking for a driving range, a golf driving range. They're looking for a bigger skate park. They're looking for remote control car areas and boat areas, drone areas, archery areas, a lot of different recreation activities that we're not doing right now. We are very heavy on youth sports, okay? And that's what we've been known for. The other part that Recreation District 1 of Pelican Park is doing is leisure programs. We have over 800 free classes a year. And those classes can be anywhere from health and fitness to personal development to crafts. And they're for children all the way up to adults.
I've seen, I believe, groups who come in with sticker collections or something along those, or scrapbooks, not stickers, scrapbooks. So I'm glad you reminded me of that, because that's obvious. I'm not at the point where I'm doing the group.
We'll get you there later, okay?
Yeah, 2 years down the road, but how attractive is that? What kind of population do you see coming to these small groups, as I might call them?
A number. It's really mostly where those programs are reaching the 40 to 90-year-olds. Okay, and we do have a 90-year-old lady that comes regularly to our program. And those classes will teach you a skill or a hobby to get you out and get you involved in things. They have a social aspect, but they have a fun aspect as well as a hobby aspect. But there's healthy eating classes, so that you can learn good things you should be doing. There's cooking classes. There's all sorts of classes on personal development, welding classes. There's craft classes. Just call us. Our website is pelicanpark.com. So all of our classes are on our website, as well as available in a newsletter we put out 5 times a year.
I was going to ask you about the newsletter, because who gets those, and can you request a newsletter?
You sure can. Just call the office at 626-7997, and we will be glad to send you a newsletter. It's also available on our website, so you can just download it from the website or read it on the website.
Gotcha. I know, I keep circling around sports, because everybody a lot of times has their own park where they go play a particular sport. But for someone who wants to borrow a baseball field for a day, is that possible at Pelican Park?
We do. We have 6 practice fields called the Silver Complex. The park is so large, as you know, it's color-coded. So the Silver Field is our practice complex, especially in the winter months. Now in the winter months, we take our game fields and we overseed them with ryegrass, and we fertilize them, and we wait for the grass to grow so that when we open for soccer in late January, there's a soft surface as well as a safe surface for the kids. But in the wintertime, we leave the 6 silver fields open. So you can come out with a few of your friends or all of your friends and let the kids run. You can fly a kite. You can do anything on the silver fields that you want to do. It doesn't need a reservation. Our lights are actually set up very uniquely that you can push the buttons for the lights to come on the silver fields, and they come on automatically for you.
Specifically, you do have baseball fields back there.
Yes, we do.
And they're really, they're designed to have soccer practice game or whatever. I know those two things.
They're designed very multi-purpose. Yeah. And so we tried to create an open space that you still could practice specific sports. But we have rugby out there. We have a group that plays soccer all the time, adults as well as kids. So people can just come out and enjoy the fields.
During the active season, can a team rent those fields, a baseball field? Is that possible?
Yes, they can. We do. Our kids come first. Our programs and our youth sports comes first. Once that is completed or fulfilled, then someone can rent any available space after that.
We've covered everything but the regular sports, and I said I'd mention it. Basketball's kind of past the point of registration, but what are the regular sports? Someone who's seeing this in this area, they don't know where to go, and that maybe they want to go check out Pelican Park. What are the kids sports that are offered? And we'll close out because you do adult sports as well.
We do. We have 5 seasons a year, and one of our philosophies is that kids should be able to play multiple sports, especially at a recreational level. And that's what our purpose is recreation, to teach kids to have fun, enjoy, and develop a love for that sport. So every sport stops before the next one starts. So in January, we have older boys basketball. We have soccer that will be starting back up again, and we have lacrosse that's done through a cooperative endeavor. Right after that, we go into baseball and softball season, and they'll be registering in February, starting to play in March and April. Once baseball, softball is over with, we go right into summer basketball and volleyball. Then we turn up back in the fall again with soccer, volleyball, fall baseball, and football and cheerleading, and then we're back to basketball season right after that.
You got that by memory pretty
good.
Well,
we've got 5,000 kids that come through Pelican Park and play a sport every year.
Yeah,
now there's some the other rec districts do a great job too with youth sports. So if you're in the Folsom area, that's a great recreation district up there. Abita's got a super recreation district, and Coquille, which serves the Madisonville area, they have a fabulous rec district too.
And we didn't get a chance to cover adult sports, but I know they can go to your website and see there's plenty of sports there for adults as well. What is the website, if you don't mind?
www.pelicanpark.com. But we've also, finally getting into the 20th century, we have a Facebook page as well as Twitter.
And you can just go like it.
PelicanPark.com.
Anything else you want to add?
Nope, just come visit us, get out and exercise. We all make excuses during the summertime. It's too hot to exercise. Wintertime is a great time to get out and walk, bike, and exercise.
Great. Kathy, nice to see you. I was not joking. I'm going to Pelican Park as soon as this interview is over. So
follow me.
I will do it.